Just a dope ass podcast. Just a dope ass podcast.
Apparently, there's some people that like the fact that we just come in and just.
I'm not gonna lie. I've been having a lot more fun with this. I enjoy music. I like how that shit be sounding, but also this is really fucking funny. And if you're new here or if you don't know by now, like I will sacrifice quite a bit for a good quality laugh. So this shit working for me. Like
How much will you sacrifice for a laugh?
I'm not gonna lie. I've inserted some chuckles quite often where they may not have needed to go. Um, I don't know how much I feel like I've sacrificed for a laugh though. Uh, I've definitely like in my youth have crashed out on like I've crashed out on like probably would have been more for sure buns for laughs because I thought this was funny. In percentage wise, it's turned out in my favor, but definitely made more of an uphill journey than probably if I'd have just been like not took this opportunity to make a good joke right here. Uh a couple conflicts on behalf of landing the comment. I don't know if that counts as for a laugh because the comment, while funny, wasn't necessarily for a laugh. It was for what it was for. And other than that, the sacrifices aren't. Usually my laughs are to like break up like something that is tough. I even have transferred that into appropriate moments for like shit for like sessions. Like, oh, this is heavy. So levity is one of my best weapons. Like, well, this is tough. And I'm like clocking. This has been really heavy for like however long it needed to be. Let me go ahead and when necessary and when I can throw something in here to kind of shake this shit up. Because
I
you
mean,
spiraling right now.
yeah, I think that's kind of been the most I've used it. I've never been looked at as the funny guy. Surprise, surprise. But like I've never been the one to go to for comedic relief. I'm the one that's like, I'll get laughs for snarky, sly comments or like sarcasm on the low, or just like, I have great timing when it comes to comedy. I'm not going to be the one that's going to do or say something that's just outlandishly funny. I just have good timing enough to like, something's going on and I just blah, blah, blah. That's funny as fuck. Thank you. I appreciate it. But for sure, when it comes to therapy and sessions, that's where I probably leverage it the most on purpose when kind of, I don't want to say break the tension because there may not always be tension, but like to create some levity when there's something that's a little tense, heavy, somebody's needing a laugh because they've been processing or expressing something heavy for the last couple of minutes, and that kind of like brings them back to the moment and kind of relax a bit.
Yeah, I've used it for that. And I've used it, I guess, almost as like a I don't know, I guess maybe like a processing tool because this is a tough, almost like people when they do I know like I feel like we've talked about this in a while, but like I used to always make reference to how much like comedy and like hip hop maybe like influenced the pod, but like
Mhm.
I use that or I have had moments where I've used that like in sessions because it's like this is difficult to talk about. So depending on the topic and the client and all these other factors of like if we can kind of giggle through this, it can be like joke point. So it's not just like, yeah, this is tough, but also, you're gonna have to learn to kind of like walk through life with this. So if I give you like a regular conversation that is, I guess still framed in like a clinical space, but we kind of have, word to rapport. I know rapport always feels like it sounds very like ABC 1, 2, 3, like first step therapy, but that shit, in my experience up to this point, rapport is my motherfucking that's my Mjolnir. Like, all the clinical stuff and note taking and diagnosis and shit is awesome and necessary. But man, my motherfucking my cap shield, rapport and the ability to like flip this shit into a way that we can all like kind of understand and communicate. Cause yeah, it's like one, you didn't expect me to say that, but two, yeah, nigga, we're gonna kind of barbershop talk this because that was wild. I'm gonna let you joke it off a little bit and kind of that. I mean, that is kind of the gig, but yeah.
Yeah. It at least makes me think in the moment. Um, and this may be my bias, whatever, but black people are some of the best comedians ever,
Fuck
right?
yeah, man.
I mean, it's like some people will say Elvis is the greatest entertainer or whatever.
They would
Frank
be wrong.
Sinatra, Frank Sinatra is one of the best singers of all time. Certain people may say certain things that I don't have to agree with it, but whatever. So
Finish. I got a
black
comment.
people are black people are some of the best comedians of all time, all throughout, the history of comedy and stand-up and things of that nature. Is that because we end up using laughter as a coping mechanism more than everyone else? Like because we have so much more to cope through and we've used song, which we are extravagant at, we've used entertainment, which we are extravagant at, and we've used laughter all as variations of how to cope with trauma, all coping mechanisms, and we just learned how to turn them into a profession.
Short answer is yes. I would we talked about sinners, us and like the rest of the fucking planet talked about sinners. And it sounds like that I literally just I used him in the Delta Slim thing. Like the ability
Mm-hmm.
to take those instances and like turn them into something. Like some of that, and I think like, it becomes a balance between I think that's actually like shit. Some of the issue we have in entertainment as well is like the ability to tell our story from a perspective of pain is what drives a lot of motherfuckers. But sometimes I feel like we get hung up on the ability to process it. Sometimes I feel like it turns into a method to like potentially relive it, and you never really learn the tools to like work through the pain as opposed to like just fueling yourself from it and become like this cycle of like, this is what I know fuels me. I live in this space, it drives me, and then you get a certain amount. I feel like you can tie a bunch of stories, even some of the shit that's going on right now, depending on pick your fucked up celebrity, it comes from that place. So, short answer, yes, I do feel like we use that as a processing tool because majority of comedy, word to what's that shit called? A jester's privilege, even though that was like
Mm-hmm.
for kings. But the idea is that you can say the hard thing in a palatable manner or a manner that people can process, laugh at, but you are still processing like pain or using pain oftentimes because a lot of that shit be the funny shit. You laugh at a motherfucker tripping and falling. That's funny. Shit. It's painful.
Not only that, but I think you brought up the jester's privilege, and that makes me think of like how often the court jester is portrayed as this clown fool ass person that's supposed to make the king laugh, entertain the royal court. When really the court jester was like, news. I'm the bridge between royalty in this village and the people, and the court jester helps make light of what's going on but also use it in a informative way so that the king knows what the people are thinking, feeling, and doing, and the people get to see what's going on in the royal court, but it's presented to them in entertainment. It's not just I'm some goofy ass dude that's singing, tap dancing, hoping to entertain. It's like, no, I'm a conduit to knowledge but in a palatable way. So it's like, well, that's what Black people have done, like finding out how to take reality and present it back to the masses in a palatable way, trying to be a bridge between multiple different worlds or avenues.
I for sure think that. I think also like if we just going just full black, our journey, our story here is, one big mosh posh of various ways that we've had to like, I don't know, like sneak our culture into ourselves because of, whatever level of oppression. Niggas have, goddamn, this is like Sinners episode 2.0. Fucking like, you have fucking voodoo and hoodoo and all those things that you used, like Catholic saints represent other things to kind of sneak your stuff back in. So yeah, you would definitely use like comedy as a way to kind of like, spin that message, laugh through it, so on and so forth. I feel like, yeah, for sure in general, but I definitely feel like if I'm going, whatever we calling ourselves today, FBAs, blacks, whatever you choose, whatever those people, them motherfuckers, uh, yeah, that's steeped in just the day to day to be able to try to merge the two, but always have that underlying thing of whatever it takes to keep you going to the next day or whatever, which
Funny that you use FBA. Nobody's used that term in probably a year, at least in certain circles. We haven't heard it as much. For a minute, we was hearing it a lot, especially post-election. We ain't heard that in a minute, which is interesting, but that's a
that's
whole other conversation.
I mean, shit, you might not ever hear that. At this point, we got to deal with the deep, extreme oppression of Afrikaners, which is why they,
Absolutely.
yeah, that's why they was able to come over here with a couple with, if you had a library card, uh, an old GameStop thing that had your name on it. If you got a Dave and Buster's South Africa card,
Hey,
say, hey man, come on in, because you being
I
oppressed.
will not stand for the disrespect and oppression and minimizing and joking of white genocide. How dare you make light of such a tragic aspect of history, current events, current history?
Right. For
There are
sure.
people really being oppressed. The African countries, especially South Africa, are really mistreating their white residents. How dare you make light of their oppression and their genocide? Like they are being severely disenfranchised. How dare you, sir? How
Dead
dare
ass.
you?
You're right. You for sure. I don't, we can't really like bring up, what I'm saying? We got to South Africa first, then, some other place first. The Congo, don't worry about it. Sudan, don't worry about it. Don't worry about either one of those. Talk about Gaza, don't how never, never. But the Afrikaners, you know what I'm saying? ICE on a they are is I mean, we're gonna talk about the bullshit, but if if we're everybody want to get like super serious, niggas is having conversations about how to maneuver around habeas corpus so they could just walk into people's homes and get, ICE doing triple shifts, double shifts. ICE agents ain't seen their families in 6 weeks. They want to go grab people so bad. And motherfuckers up here talking. Like the I'll never talk to him. I was about to frame this in a way that's not true. I never want to talk to these people, but just seeing, I saw a dude maybe like 2 days ago, 3 days ago, and it was like he was making one of those like, where are the progressives at with this? If you love immigration so much, where's the outcry and praise for this? It was just a bunch of white people on stage with American flags that I think were like Afrikaner people or whatever. It was like it almost and that was that thing you said earlier about like with Elvis. It's just like some of this shit, man. I'm for, clearly, even this platform. I'm for having the conversations, making the noise, saying the things, but I also am very okay with us just like, y'all know who y'all are talking to and who's not to talk to. That person on the other side of the line, it makes no sense. It's a waste of time and energy to get that motherfucker any type of room. Like, I just want, again, like, I want y'all to want to know where y'all at. Y'all on that side of the street, cool. Stay the fuck away from me.
So you're okay with segregation?
Hey man, look, if you could maneuver around a lot of the systemic barriers, you know what I mean? Like there was some thriving there. I'm okay with staying away from those who are just, like you know them type of people, like the hard red, the everything right wing, right fucking the fucking conservatives, the incels, the all them people, the same people. Y'all soft girls, we talked about that last time. Y'all in the same group, y'all same people, everybody same people. You know what I mean? Like that's another thing. Like, it was something I was watching this week, and they were discussing like the concept of us calling some of these things debates when they're not. Like, you go to a debate, I want to have like a sharing of information. You go in potentially like, I have a point. If somebody has a better point, you kind of open your space for other communication. If niggas just want to argue, like just fight or whatever. Cause y'all not having a conversation. This
No,
person is not maneuvering. And I don't know. I feel like it's cool for the people whose platform it is to just like sun them and that's the T got him. And it's like, cool. We just, we would have to follow this up with like actions, you know what I'm saying, or whatever.
no. Action is too much effort. It's like when it comes to the political climate, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to all these different things that we are debating or having discourse on, which is another whatever. I feel like a lot of it was what's them shits that people was doing during the pandemic when everybody was getting in them rooms and yelling at each other. What
Um,
what was that shit called?
Motherfuckers was getting in rooms and yelling at each other.
Yeah, this we talked about it on the show. It came and went clearly. Like they still have it, but I don't think people use it. But people were having think tanks in there. People were having full blown conversations. People were doing masterclass. Like
Oh,
people were
oh,
on
I know what you're talking about. The
what is
fucking
the little green shit.
damn, everybody was in there just fucking. I think are people still on that shit? Not, it
I
wasn't
think
like,
something like Twitter still kind of has an aspect of that, and I think some people still do have theirs, and they may meet and have those types of conversations. But damn, why can't I remember what that was?
yeah, because what is it? I think what is it? Twitter has what's it called? Spaces.
I think something along those lines is what it's called, but not that's
Um,
not their original, not that I'm referring to. But yeah, a lot of that, a lot of what we have as far as discourse in those spaces, it's not actual debating or conversation.
Clubhouse.
Clubhouse,
Clubhouse. Yeah.
club sandwich, club sandwich. Right.
Yeah.
But that's what a lot of the discourse is, and a lot of that I feel like comes it's panned in that light because people don't want to actually accept truth. Truth is difficult for them to accept, which is why it may take a long time or a certain period of time for us to get people to embrace certain aspects of themselves because the truth is not what we're actually looking for. We just want to be right.
Yeah.
So
A
since I
lot of
want to be right, we just end up talking at each other, but that doesn't create resolution. It just creates more conflict. It creates more distraction. At some point, when do we want to not be distracted and we actually want to get to some sort of resolution?
a lot of echo chambers and confirmation bias. I don't necessarily think God, this sounds so fucking I don't know that everybody wants to get there. I think
Mhm.
um I think you have to be ready to like I think that's where some of these conversations, which are I mean in the end I guess I'm kind of backtracking because they are good in the sense that for every, I don't know, however many dickheads, there's somebody that you would have to be confronted with an opposing opinion that would shine light that you're, word to therapy, that would shine light that like, oh shit, this thinking pattern, this way that I'm going about this is not truly like beneficial or helpful. You say you want A, B, and C, and we have a conversation, and I finally get to walk you through, or shit, you get to walk me through how how this line of thought gets you to this place and you say you want this over here. Well, this don't get you that. So I guess that's one space where the conversations are okay, but I feel like there's a bunch of motherfuckers who one might be goofy talking heads, but two don't really want that. They just know that like there's a you get your shit fed, you get whatever little dopamine hit from fucking Batty Fatty 2000 said, fuck this nigga. And like, yeah, sorry, I got you, bitch. And motherfuckers feel cool. And then they get up and go back to work on Monday. But for that day, this shit was lit.
Yeah,
And
that microwave validation. Like I feel like it's us settling for less.
for
It
sure.
creates content. It creates some sort of discourse, some kind of conversation. Like, but it's all temporary, kind of like the clubhouse shit. Like it's temporary, something that's a fly by night. It's popular for a moment, or publicized for a moment, or gets a lot of attention for a moment, and then it fizzles out. But it's us settling for the bullshit. It's us taking the proverbial Black Lives Matter painted on the street corner and then going and sitting down somewhere. Like that's what a lot of the narratives in our society is. Do we as a society actually know what we want?
I think there's a idea of thinking, knowing what you want, but not so much. understanding the cost to like get there, of what that might look like, of what you might have to give up. I think the more people get on the internet to talk about it, the more people are kind of faced with what this might look like, whatever your idea of change looks like. Because, motherfuckers, you might not have to shop this. Like, even with the Target shit, like even niggas was faced with that little thing of like, damn, what does it look like for me to go have to like find my foods? And like, shit, I'm somebody who posts a lot of progressive stuff, revolutionary, but it's like, oh shit. I had a Target right down the street from the house. And I was like, damn, I don't go to this motherfucker often, but I gotta really figure out where the fuck to, and like shit like that. While that's not a big deal, to a good chunk of our like community, especially those in like, you know, and I'm not balling by any stretch, but there are those like clearly a chunk of my clientele. They can't afford to fucking be revolutionaries. Niggas will starve. So
Mhm.
I think what that looks like outside of like ourselves is shit that people are like figuring out. And shit, the shit is hard. It's much easier to just, wait on the spirits to burn down a fucking plantation, like you could just conjure the motherfuckers up, and that's just way better than you know, you want me to go outside and like, volunteer? Fuck no, man. I'm gonna just, which either one, man. I, get on top of it. Whoever conjures them niggas up, I'm rocking with it. I don't know if, I don't know if it's an individual or if they, but I like the idea. I like the memes that it provided. I made one. So if the spirits is kicking back up, whoever locked that door, because I just feel like, you got over 400 fucking years of anger. Yeah, you can unlock that door a little bit.
I
It's
mean,
just,
we got one down. We got a whole bunch more to go. That
yeah.
one ain't gonna, it's like we gotta do more conjuring just to get another one to get burnt down. God, yeah.
Yeah, man, y'all got that Annabelle doll working overtime. It's some old dolls. Y'all got some old trinkets and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, go ahead and knock on
I,
that door. So I'm saying that's how I know none of y'all is really Annies,
you
because
know,
yeah, we would have had you would already knocked on that door. Open it
absolutely,
up a little bit.
absolutely. I just feel like it's. I saw somebody I follow that I know loosely. I saw them post like, so I guess they were at some plantation yesterday, and I was like, this is
Mhm.
terrible timing. Like they're not. I mean, they're black-ish, black identifying, kind of like mixture black Latino either way. But it's like you ain't see that we had the thing burnt down, and and the communities of color are talking about this and like kind of celebrating it, and you posted a picture of you kind of like celebrating at the plantation, like
They're going to the plantation for,
plantation brunch. I mean, but again, when we saw this one was burnt down, like yeah, there's a lot of these plantations make a large amount of money off of being destination weddings for people, venues for people, having events like brunches and things of that nature. Because the old Southern Belle brunch, like everybody wants to
Yeah.
go and have that aesthetic of this pretty house out in the country that's just so wonderful. And it's like, bitch, that's a plantation. Ain't there's nothing that would make me want to come here and be like, this is gorgeous. Like nothing about that says a wonderful aesthetic to me. But to kind of make the point, like there are some people that are just so far removed from the revolutionary mindset. They don't even care about revolution. They care more about convenience. They care more about image. They care more about all these other things. Because I know you were saying like some people can't afford to be revolutionary. Part of me is like, no, that's not true. Are some of our communities food deserts? Yes. Not to say that they have the greatest of access to things, but in a lot of these communities, especially here in California, like you may not have a large supermarket, but you got small, bodegas if you're on the East Coast,
Mhm.
corner stores if you in the South, and little markets or whatever you want to call them out here in LA. There's some little Latino market or whatever market in the community. You can go in there and like are you gonna stock up the same way you would at a Food for Less or Walmart or something? No, but you can go in there and get some essentials at least for the week and be okay. But not celebrating. That's supporting your community, and that money is going to get circulated back in the community, which could be a stepping stone to something revolutionary. That's something that was a part of our culture back in the day. Hey, run to the corner store and grab me some eggs, some milk, and a loaf of bread. We didn't say like run to Walmart and get no. Go to this corner store right over here that's in your community. Spend your money there. Come back. They know who you are. They see you on a regular basis. They see us. You're gonna be good going there in the neighborhood because these are our people. Like we don't make those conscious choices anymore because we care more about the convenience. So I don't care enough to read the room and understand that me posting a picture at a plantation the day after a plantation burns and people of color are talking about it, it's kind of like I'm not reading the room because I don't care. I'm just somewhere pretty that's going to help with my aesthetic.
Yeah, see that shit right there, man. Like two things. One, I think I definitely I'll take that back. I agree with you with the making the efforts to go to the proper like well not proper, but the various food locations. And I'll even give motherfuckers grace. You go where you can because I feel like, if you need this whatever item and it's not local, you might break down to get that item. But some of y'all motherfuckers going in there and got full 47 baskets because it's convenient, and that might be a little nuts. So I'll split the middle on that. Yeah, plantation shit though. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to phrase this that it's not trying because I'm not trying to sound like no fucking uppity nigga, but there is certain levels of I think everybody, should have the grace to get to a space that they can, but there's certain shit where I'm like, I'm gonna wish you the best from a fucking distance because that's OD. Like, I don't need a lot of and I know I'm also speaking from my own personal experience that is, bathed in my family and my their values, whatever. But yeah, you couldn't have got me on a plantation at like 9. I would have been like, So to be, motherfuckers in their latter 20s, 30s, motherfuckers in their 40s, like, it's a what are we discussing? Baby, what you talking about?
You know, the only
What you
reason I would set foot on a plantation is because I want to see what my ancestors went through. I know they're gonna dress it up and romanticize it, make it look all pretty and all that. And I know I'm not gonna get the full effect of what my ancestors had to deal with, but I at least want to be in that space and see, damn, this is what they were going through on a daily basis and just kind of put it into perspective. It's sort of like I've been in Georgia driving and you stop at cotton fields and it's like you ain't going there to pick cotton. You ain't going. It's just like cotton fields are on the side of the road as you driving on the highway. You just stop and really look and take it into perspective. Like, damn, our people was really out here dealing with this every day under certain circumstances, being watched, being whipped for not working as hard in the sun. Like, I would want to, that would be the only reason I would be at a plantation, not to celebrate it, but energetically, if I can sit here and connect with my ancestors for a second and understand what they went through to put what I'm going through into perspective, that's the only reason I want to be there. Ain't nothing cute to me about being at a plantation or celebrating it like it's something wonderful, unless I'm coming here to buy this bitch and give it back to the people. That's the only way I'll show up like Django, nice little outfit. Who this nice dressed nigga here? Oh yeah, I's the new owner. I'm here to buy all this shit. You motherfuckers can get out now. This going back to the people. That's
listen?
the only way.
You catch me anywhere near one of them tours or some of that shit. Understand that I have learned the magic. I know it through and through, and I can do Marvel shit. My eyes glow, I can float, and I'm raising them the fuck up. Understand you me? I'm putting my fingers in the soil, and I'm getting yeah, it's getting fucking wicked. Doctor Strange wouldn't know what the fuck to do with me. When you catch me out here, run whatever direction you feel it, because we get it up through here. It's gonna be
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They talk about play the horn, Gabriel. It's gonna be drums and shit. It's gonna be 808s throughout the fucking universe because I'm getting it fucking yeah. I'm calling them up. I'm gonna pull out a phone book full of Orishas. You don't even know about this motherfucker, boy. You only know I'm getting this motherfucker from the back of the book. He'll never get no play. Come on, motherfucker. We getting it cracking right now.
It's your time to shine today.
Yeah, man, all of 'em from all across the board. That's yeah. Mm-mm.
That's super important. I think a level of representation is super important. Like us having representation in these spaces, not to romanticize it, but to like We here to let you know we don't really fuck with this or like this shit. We here plotting on something, or we here trying to reconnect to some energy. You profiting off of it like your ancestors did. Because to me, that's like a clashing of ancestral energies. We got one group of people that's profiting off of people being here, which is the same thing that our ancestors had to endure. And then another group of people that are coming just to see what their families or their people or their ancestors went through.
I
It's
don't
the
know.
same cycle, it just looks different.
Yeah, I don't even find that to be a clash. I find that to be eye-opening to those who think um that there's so much progress that you don't have to keep this in mind when you move through the world. Like things like this, I think, or spaces like that should always be like a good eye opener to like, hey man, this shit ain't moved. The pendulum ain't moved the way you think it has. So you should, have the antennas up and always have a vigilance for how you walk through the world. It may, if you don't, cool. I also hold space that for those who don't have it, because those are the ones I need to go ahead and sidestep. You stay over there, whatever your, you know, um, it, it, it was a post I saw, and I see it a lot, and I get it, but I go back and forth with how I feel about it when it was like revolution looks like rest, and I'm like, I don't know, not really. Like sometimes I understand what that means. I understand that like we deserve rest. I'm a whole black man. We got a whole fucking every other day there's a campaign about how we should give ourselves rest, and I believe that. But I don't. The framing of that I think is sometimes something I go back and forth with because like what does rest look like? And we don't have like that type of like opportunity to just kind of like let them do. If we were in more powerful positions, had some more like wiggle room strength wise and like leverage wise, then yeah, everybody like, tag in, tag out. But I go back and forth with the meaning behind those phrases. I feel like everybody says it means well, but what that looks like and how that presents and how we go about that, I'd be like, I'll take a nap. I don't know about everybody going to sleep taking like just big rest because they don't rest on that side. It's every day they got some new shit to specifically targeted towards us. So
I think we would have to reevaluate in multiple areas, but reevaluate what rest actually looks like. Like we need to have a cultural definition of what rest needs to look like, a professional definition of what rest needs to look like within our industry, a personal definition of what rest needs to look like. Um, Probably a couple others, to be honest, but I think cultural, personal, and professional may be the biggest that we need to look
mhm.
at. Because I think we look at rest as either luxury and or leisure or just laziness. Like rest is just me not doing a motherfucking thing, which sometimes is necessary, but even that your rest isn't active. It's not doing something that's helping you to recharge, to recuperate. You're just swinging the pendulum from doing a whole bunch of work to doing absolutely no work at all, and I don't want to lift a finger, or I'm overextending myself work wise, and then I overextend myself financially or whatever the case is to pay for luxury or live in a life of luxury. And I look at that as rest or leisure, but that's not real rest. At least how I'm looking at it, because when it comes to mental health, we in severe unrest. Like I'm when I'm out on a regular basis, I see people's like mental and their emotional and just how they function. People are decompensating. Like people are not present. They're on autopilot. They're not driving in certain ways. They're not walking in certain. I just look at people and I can see that they are tuned out. And that's in the midst of, say, spending a bunch of money. To a degree, I'll see non-blacks. They just have the other side, that like aloofness, because we don't have to worry about leisure at all because our life doesn't have certain circumstances that other people have,
Yeah.
so we get to just maneuver and with a level of aloofness and lack of awareness that other people don't have the luxury or privilege to move with. But for us, we're not even trying to define what the actual rest needs to be. We're just following a trend of doing shit that looks good, which is pushing us into even more exhaustion.
I had a conversation about something in that ballpark of And this will, in my mind, this is about to land us in a really funny place or a funny moment for me, and maybe y'all. Um, so I'm sure, maybe you haven't I don't think you've watched it at all, but the internet has gone awry with this show forever. It is a romance between a young male and female, and they are coming across each other. But we'll get into that. But there's a big part of the film where they end up in was it Martha's Vineyards or whatever, super nice, super fluent, super this, super that. And aside from all the other discourse among around the show, um, it was a discussion about like desiring that and like what black excellence air quotations look like. And it's like
Mm,
that looked very black excellent. I was like, that looked dope. I don't dislike it, but I was like, I also kind of go back and forth with the idea of is that black excellence or is that like repackaged, you know, I don't know, white mimicking that we put black people on top of? Like,
mhm,
it's well, all the whatever the phrase is, the talented 10th conversation of like, is this black excellence or is black excellence, word to Tyler Perry, where we all are 40 generations in the back of grandma's house and you got twerkers, dice throwers, and but but is that like more of a black excellence thing? Like, do I have to have this fucking house in the Hamptons that is, kind of like what somebody might describe as a white experience, but because black people are in it, is that black excellence? Or is it having the ability to maybe like be what's dog's name? Come on, memory. Xavier Leggett, wide receiver for the Carolina Panthers
mhm.
went fucking viral when all these fucking videos are going out about the fucking line dances and the trail rides. He a big old country motherfucker. He went back home, is in some overalls, riding a horse in the fucking sticks with his family, eating raccoon. And it's like, well shit, why is this not black excellence? Because if you didn't know no better, if you didn't know football, he would just look like one of my cousins or some shit. And I was like, this is far more excellent. So yeah, it like such conversations like that. I'm like, yeah, what the fuck does black excellence look like? Like if and not to, and I think there's always the through line of us doing things from understandably doing things from a space of lack is that enough is never enough because it's always like, what about this? Why can't we look like that? Like that's perfectly fine. Like right there, like this is black and excellent. Everybody fed, everybody's having a good time, everybody laughing. And black excellence shit, if you can't afford it, that's one thing. But like, shit, if I was rich, I would still try to like create an environment where my kids and cousins and friends' kids, yeah, make a pallet on the floor. That's excellent. That was some of my like favorite fucking moments growing up. That in and of itself is a level of excellence. So I don't know, looking at what that shit looks like and not just going because it's not has some sort of rich aesthetic or luxury. Like luxury doesn't necessarily mean excellent. It just means expensive.
Yeah, I had a slightly similar interaction or conversation, which is not uncommon for me, but like I did the event last week. I did a panel last week, did a panel again this week. Booked and
Fucking
busy.
panel
Got that.
king, boy. Salute to that nigga, boy. Yeah.
But like I both times I've had youth that may recognize me from previous circles or workshops that I've done.
Mhm.
And some of them are like, oh, so they don't really know me, but I looked when people see me, I know y'all may see me on here and I kind of look the same every week. But when people see me in person, they think I'm somebody, so to speak. So like I've had 2 weeks in a row a kid come to me and be like, yo, are you a athlete or like are you rich or do you like because they see me as somebody that everybody's coming to me and hugging me or like making a big deal of me being there and then they see me talking on stage or whatever the case is. So like I had a kid ask me yesterday, he's like, are you rich? Like you used to play ball, right? And I was like, yeah, I used to play football and kind of gave him the mini breakdown. He's like, so you're rich? And I was like, nah, I'm not rich, but also like, what is your definition of rich? And that question has to come up a lot more in our community. Like I think we do end up latching onto the narratives of rich, of luxury, of successful, of accomplished, of all these different things that are really just us adopting white society's embodiment of what that's supposed to look like. And we don't actually define it for our individual self. If luxury to you actually looks like having a recent Benz and all the material things, because that's just who you are, cool. But if you haven't sat with yourself to figure out if I identify with that because I'm still holding myself to a certain standard that really doesn't come from me or my culture, or if I'm just holding on to, because some of that shit comes from trauma too. Like I grew up poor, we
Hmm.
didn't have this, we didn't have that.
That's
And
the
now
one.
I'm just overcompensating because I'm still that insecure ass middle school, high school kid that wants to have the materials to make me feel like I'm special or popular. And that's why I love luxury so much because I don't want to get myself as far away from the old image of myself, the old feeling of myself as possible. But that's not luxury. That's you masking. That's you coping. So have you sat with those different parts of yourself to see if this is the actual definition that identifies with you, or are you just out here enabling the bullshit to continue to grow bigger? It just got a gold bow on it.
I would say that that is the through line for tons of shit. Even well, specifically luxury, because that I mean all of it. But that's what that's I know we said that last time on talking about fucking Shannon. Like, and if you listen to outside of just the recent events, but a lot of Shannon's talking points, especially surrounding money, they're things that helped him obviously like in his career, but you hear that with him or another athlete or another fucking artist or whatever, and it's like you got a lot of shit and this is your like masking thing. Like you haven't processed it. It's your shit. It's like nigga 91 fuel. Like the trauma is the fucking thing that gets the car going. And it's like, we could run this shit off of fucking like I don't know, seed oils and it'd be great. It's like, no, nigga, this is it. Only crude oils. No, they have other fuck that. So again, like understandable. I definitely feel like it's a thing that, you know, I'm 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 in this field to like help niggas work through it. So like, but like is sometimes is like and I don't say this to somebody who doesn't carry that, but it is always sometimes so like um disappointing, I think is too harsh of a word, but you kind of had a goddamn nigga like when you catch somebody in that loop and it's like, I don't feel like you need that. You've done it, you've done more than enough. You can like fucking I feel like I've used this a lot, but like that scene on X-Men where it's like Magneto is has done quite a bit of just fueling that bitch off anger. He runs into Charles and he's like, there's some beautiful shit in your life that you could fuel this off of and you would be much, much stronger. Now, granted, Magneto does go on to do a lot of crazier shit, but also Magneto might not be wrong. So that's a whole nother topic for another, because maybe, maybe Eric had a point. Maybe, but but yeah, I think all of us could just as a community could do better with that.
Yeah.
Which does circle me back to uh, everybody's recent fucking you know cinematic masterpiece, which is this forever thing. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, I speed ran this bitch yesterday. I think everybody did a good job. I think these actors are doing amazing. I wish everybody the best. Wood Harris can do no wrong in my book. You know what I mean? Great. I think that some of you are in your mid 30s and are trying your weirdest to identify with high schoolers on this thing and use that as your depiction of love. It's given my usual thing with the Love Jones stuff, and it's concerning. I thought in the beginning that there's obviously gripes I have just with you watch a show like I don't like this character, I don't like this, I didn't like some things, but more than anything, like as I go through this, I don't like y'all. Y'all are very weird people, and it is concerning personally, clinically, atomically, whatever, whatever. Like y'all, y'all's wild for that. Just a little bit of these takes, and y'all have it's so many think pieces. And I support all of my little like circle, but I love the reaffirmation from the mental health people, mental health women as well, that are like, yeah, nigga, they wild. And I'm like, okay, y'all don't have to crash out. Y'all are professionals. I'm still working on mine. I'll do it for all of us. Because what the fuck are y'all talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one thing. We're not exempt from it in our space either. But that is one thing that I can appreciate that I see on my timeline for the most part. There's going to be for every 10 therapists that can say some shit or deep dive or present a different perspective on social media, us not included. At least six of them will not be on some goofy shit and kind of be like, hey, what y'all really talking about? Y'all really want to have this conversation? I don't know if y'all really want to have this conversation, but here's a different perspective that you should probably pay attention to. There are some goofy ones that'll latch onto it and they'll use it as clickbait to just enable the conversation to go in the direction it's already going. And they're the minority. We ain't really thinking about them. I don't know what the white ones is talking about when it comes to these topics. So I don't know if
I
that
don't.
number gets.
Yeah, when it comes to stuff about us, I don't listen to them.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm pretty sure there's some of them out there that are speaking on things from a mental health perspective. I'm sure it's possible. I don't know if the numbers change if we incorporate them, but I'm
Mhm.
not, so I don't know. But yeah, those 4 out of 10 are the minority, and a lot of us are coming in not really picking sides, but just saying, "Hey, this is kind of silly that you guys are looking at it this way, and it's kind of silly that y'all are looking at it this way as well." But you know which way y'all not looking at it at? Look at it in this way. And I'm not going to tell y'all how to think or look at it, but look at that perspective and do with it what you will. And then we just kind of disappear and come back to the next topic. I'm enjoying the fact that more and more of us are stepping up to just say, hey, this kind of doesn't make sense. And we're missing some context here. Let's look at it from this perspective. And then, okay, bye. I'll let you guys marinate on that and see what happens.
Yeah, like, I'm on record. I feel like I dedicated at least 2 episodes to like saying I don't think Love Jones is like a love story. I think it's beautifully it looks beautiful, it's aesthetically pleasing, great, and all that. I think also with this too is there is a thing when like because when I started to have some of these conversations, I've had like 3 or 4 surrounding this movie, and like conversations around like what because I feel like that sometimes get lost in translation across the board is what people are deeming like what's the conversation parameters? Like when niggas talk about hip hop, beautifully shot film, everybody's acting well, like it's a good film from like all the whatevers. When y'all get to talking about like the characters as characters and what they were conveying, then yeah, we have disagreements. I'm never gonna say like anybody in this film didn't do their job. Even if you hate a character, like you niggas, like we all get up and like hate Voldemort. That nigga did his fucking job, elite. So I don't know. I don't want to have that thing. I feel like motherfuckers get real caught up in how it made you feel, especially if you're out here in LA. It's a fucking it like a lot of these romance shits when they're in a certain area, it's like a love letter to where it's at. This was a bit of like a LA love letter. Like that shit, there was part. I'm like, the niggas is right by my house. Like, oh shit, this is amazing. Like you feel that you're like like they was coming right down. I'm not gonna tell you where I stay, but they was coming down. And I was like, hey, I was like, I'm right, like that's me right there. And I was like, cool. So I get all that, but my gripe came in when it was like, I think the first thing before I watched like episode 1, and then the I'm not gonna stop now because like I enjoy some of the stuff I get over there, but TikTok is dangerous. Instagram is dangerous, but TikTok is crazy because everybody on TikTok is like fucking is like an expert on whatever the fuck their opinion is. And I think one of the first ones I saw is like, this is what love looks like when you're intentional. I was like, nigga, this character is 16. You are a taxpayer, baby. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? This is a 16-year-old boy, a virgin with no real experience with women who's got attachment issues. And I think that to me is where the story is better at. Is like, oh, this might be a story about what not to do. And so there was part of me that was like initially like, this is fucking irritating love story. But there were so many things in here that don't make sense, just like relationshipy wise, that I was like, maybe this was their part. And I don't know if anybody's talked to the creator of the show. I haven't looked up anything, and I'm not going to. This is just my opinion. But if the point of it was almost to like highlight like this shit can look nuts. This is not necessarily like love, so to speak, but it is like youthful infatuation and what that can look like. Because it was also like really good things. Like everybody talks about Wood Harris. Wood Harris is amazing. I also saw some of y'all do weird shit where there's a scene that everybody keeps posting where like Wood Harris is talking to the son and they're in the vineyard place, they're on a park, and he's talking to him about like feeling his feelings and what it feels like to like have hurt and break up. In that line, like he says like you've found where your boundary is, like you have found a space and you were like it hurts enough for you like okay, I need to figure out how not to just fucking jump out the gym every time on some, as y'all Drake fans, that's some lover boy shit. That's not healthy, that's not okay. You go, oh, this is not good to do to me. I've had this experience that sucked. Take that information in and you go now and not be jaded, but you go, oh, that was kind of dumb on my part. Like it did a lot of like it shined a light on both sides where there's like the kid is doing shit that you're like asking yourself to be fucked over. Now the issue is on both sides is the girl character, she does some fuck shit. You can understand her line of thinking, especially if I'm gonna put it in the framework of a high schooler who are idiots. Um, just like they're just not mature people yet. That frontal lobe is not frontal lobing for another decade. So if we just put all that together, um, but there's things that she does, and she did like the going theme is she did play in his face. Y'all who are saying she didn't play in his face are fucking crazy people, and I don't agree with you. But also at the same time, he absolutely was. If there was a sign that said playing it, he actively went and planted his face there. He was doing outrageous shit throughout the whole thing. So it was like niggas who took their time to make videos that are, if they're not flat out red pill, they're like red pill adjacent with like a nice, um, mellow party next door beat under there. Like it just it's not full hardcore, I'm American red pill, but it's like soft, sexier red pill. Like it's cool. Like they had those to be like, Keisha's a bitch. And I was like, you're 31, my boy. I relax. And then on the flip side, it was like women who were like, this is what it looks like to be intentional. It was great that he was so free with his emotions. And I was like, he wasn't free with them. He was bad with them. His dad had much better, whatever. I appreciated that though. I appreciated that you have a father who was the nurturer, a father who was the one that had the emotional wherewithal. The mom was good in like I think her what she wanted for him, but she was like messing up in the communication. And I don't think that's like I'm not using her character as a back kicker in her for women, but I think in my experience, especially in this last year and a half of like working in the concrete therapy space, I do a lot of work, like more work than I expected with moms about like we could do this another way. You are not a natural nurturer off the rip. Like you are learning this shit. Like you are naturally maybe more expressive. You had ways or more leeway to express your feelings, but you're not understand it this way. Cool. So I think it did good in other ways, but still, again, y'all are weirdos. Without telling the
Absolutely.
movie, I didn't put too much spoilers in this shit.
It's okay. I mean, it brings up a bunch of different points. First, editing part. Pause it here real quick.
Let's look at
So,
technology.
wonderful, 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 wonderful. First off, you said the sexy red pill shit. The sexy red pill, nuts. I think that's out there. I think there's definitely some sexy red pill. We talked about pink pill before. There's a sexy red pill out there for sure.
I'm not opposed. I don't have any grounds to disagree with that. What would that even be like? Would that be like I don't know, whatever there's a page that's like Justin LeBoy, but like more women centered. I think that might be like in the ballpark of that type
About
shit.
to say, I thought Justin LeBoy was women's center, even though I'll say so far this year, he kind of trying to turn the corner every now and again. He'll throw some shit out there that's not his usual performative goofy shit. He been slowly
Okay,
pivoted on that
maybe
page a little bit.
Maybe I'll take it back because I'm not gonna hold you. I haven't seen any of his shit since like the pandemic, but I just remember
Oh
it was
yeah.
such a prominent.
It ain't much, but I'll say probably the last, I won't say year, but maybe this year for sure. I've seen a few posts where it'd be like,
I think
huh,
did I mute? I think I might have
you might
muted.
have. You might have,
It was,
and I wouldn't be mad if you did, because
I think it, and it
I've only
wasn't.
come across it because I've seen people repost certain stuff, and I'd be just like, that's stupid, and I expect that from him, and then I just randomly ended up on his page and been like, hmm,
I think
out of
that was
these
one of those.
10, two of these ain't that bad.
I think that was one of those things. I think before they started doing the like, you can see people's likes or however they bounce back and forth with that with
Mhm.
Instagram. Whenever I used to see that shit reposted, I was like judging people I knew for real because I was like, what are we getting from this?
Nothing,
I had a good amount of
nothing.
crash outs about that. But yeah,
Terrible about this. But along the lines of, you said one of my favorite trigger words when you were explaining this forever shit, and that is intentional. I
yeah.
can't stand how a lot of lady folk want to weaponize the word intentional. I actually had a conversation with someone recently, as far as like my perspective on intentional. I, I, and this is just me, I'll die on this hill, but whatever. I don't think there's anything that we do that's not intentional. Everything that we do is intentional. So us saying I want to be more intentional is stupid to me, right? I think that's just performative ass language that people use to try to make themselves seem fake virtuous. They don't know it's fake virtuous, but they want to make themselves seem like, I just want to be more intentional about, you're intentional about everything you do. And this might be my bias as a therapist. What you're really talking about is awareness. I want to be more aware of why I'm doing, how I'm doing, when I'm doing, what the motive, like you want to be moving in more awareness, which means you also have to accept some accountability. You have to accept parts of it that are not yours. But I'm saying that because people are like, this is what love looks like when you're intentional. I think we need to start challenging the definitions that we're using of any word. What does love actually look like? What does real love look like? Because your definition of real love may not be the same definition of real love that I have. So you're saying that I need to move in this unhealthy, codependent, whatever, say anxious attachment style way that seems good to you because it's presented performatively well. But that's not what love looks like to me. And if we're not discussing our definitions of these words, then we end up getting caught up in situations like said forever. If we come together on the first time we start having a conversation, as much as it may be annoying as fuck to do, but whatever, hey, what's your understanding or definition of love? Like, what does love look like to you? Or what does intentionality look like to you? What does awareness look like to you? What does this look like to you? Like asking each other questions to see what each other's perspective on these types of terminologies. What does that mean to you? What does it look like to you? Where does it come from for you? I think that would alleviate a lot of unnecessary interaction because what do you mean being intentional in love? It somebody that's a motherfucking stalker. Somebody is a stalker like a motherfucker and abusive. I intentionally hit you because I love you and this is how I express love. That doesn't mean that just because I'm abusive, I'm not being intentional. Just because it looks this way and it has this wonderful aesthetic that you think is cute doesn't mean that that's the only way to be intentional. You want to be aware. So, what does awareness look like to you?
I think shit. There's a certain part of me that feels like calling it they want to be aware is almost giving it too much credit. I think like I know that this has been discussed at nauseum um about like or maybe this topic to some, but also the concept of like boiling it down to where this idea stems from. And I think the good things show kind of like presented is like some of these things weren't like love or romance. It was like this stemmed from insecurity. This stemmed from this.
Mm,
This stemmed from a desire for attention. And I think that a lot of times, people get stuck in those spaces. What you desire is attention and
mhm,
being aware. I'll come back, being aware of where you're coming from, I think even allows you to maneuver. That's one of the, step one to healing. I think Odie did some video and he was like doing like a three-step process as to like how if you wanted to boil therapeutic process into like three spaces. And like the first thing was like aware. I'm aware of where this is coming from. And I think, if we're gonna call something love, it at least tries to begin from a secure space that you can come from. And a lot of this shit was insecure because honestly, when some of your most insecure moments aren't in high school, you're figuring yourself out. And so stepping aside from the film, like the film makes sense in the context of high school motherfuckers going from I'm infatuated. Again, that's another thing. Like this shit happens over the course of like a year and a half. So
Mm.
there's, elements of infatuation, codependency, attachment issues, so on and so forth. But applying that to motherfuckers' lives and motherfuckers be saying this intentional shit, it's a lot of like it's the same vein of like people using, therapy talk or weird soft language that to be fair, just sidebar, I'm not using all that shit in a session. Might use some of them when they apply, but like I'm not talking like that all the time. It doesn't fucking work. But ways for people to mask insecurities or selfishness or your favorite word, some type of like narcissistic tendency of like, I want you to be all over me. But that doesn't speak to us having like love. And I think sometimes, and I know I've said this at on here before, is that I sometimes compare love to what love looks like in other relationships because we put too many, I feel like it's different in different relationships, but we put I feel like too many different rules on romantic love as opposed to you motherfuckers love your friends, you love your parents, you love, you love your cousins, whoever the fuck, and you don't have this many stipulations on what it's supposed to look like for y'all to engage. Y'all love them the same, y'all interact the same, y'all see each other often, but it is a very like not a glamorous type of love. It's very stable is boring. If another real fucking therapist gets up here and makes another sexy fucking just very well edited thing about steadiness and love, it's boring by when you look at it. It just feels good. It's stable. This table, very stable. I trust this table. I've sat on this table, rolled on it, put a bunch of shit on it. It's not a sexy table, but I trust this shit. If I went and bought some swooshy shit from IKEA, I wouldn't want to put a fucking cup on it because I can't really trust it, but it looks good. It's a lot of people look at it. It's very attention seeking. It's like somebody walking my house. Oh my God, this is a sexy uh du Chavert 44 table, but I can't do nothing with this table except look at it. This motherfucker here has been in this office space since before this shit might have been 2012. Very stable, very good, very boring. Just regular black desk. And so I think when motherfuckers be talking about everything relationship wise got to be sensationalized. And I think it would be cool if we left art where it's at. I love Marvel shit, geek shit. I don't watch Captain America and then try to find the nearest ledge to jump off of and hold a shield behind my knees because I go, that's what fucking shit looks like. Him being a very integrity driven dude and protecting of those he cares about, I can probably take those and run with them. So the way these motherfuckers be looking at this shit and like, this is what love looks like. And I'm like, but not like, I don't know. Um, oh, okay. I think I've used this example before. I like a certain type of like fucking like V8 juice. Like I'm like the little strawberry banana shit. Tastes good.
Hmm.
I use it. I drink it all the time. My dad found out I liked that shit when I was like 16, and he just keeps one in there. That's not really a super glamorous thing. That shit costs him like $6. Puts it in there, doesn't touch it for whenever I might come through. It's not like, oh yeah, my dad bought me a new car and we like blast down the street. It's just that little simple act. Now, a motherfucker will have a nigga or a woman that does things like that for them on a regular basis overall, and it doesn't look like some big flashy shit. So when you see a 16-year-old in this movie, you saw a child completely crash out and betray himself, and you go, that's what I would want. That I would argue wouldn't even be you working in love because as a person who loves somebody, you want to do as much as you can to not make this person overextend or fuck themselves over. That's never that it didn't have like the part, especially the parts that y'all be picking. Those parts that didn't happen there. So I would argue that you're not even operating. If we were in like a session or something, I probably would challenge you to say, like, are you really operating from a space of love? And then we would probably work back from somewhere. So yeah,
But that's if somebody wants to be challenged. A lot of people they don't want to challenge their romanticized performative understanding of any of these things, which is why they like it, as they say, movies do a good job if it tugs at your heartstrings.
hmm
Right. And it's like any movie that can make you feel some sort of emotion, or a character, somebody that plays a character that makes you feel the way that you're supposed to feel about this character. Like, I really hated him in that movie. That means he did a fantastic job. I really liked her character in this movie. That means she did a great job at making you believe. It's like fucking heels and faces in wrestling. Like, I'm doing a good job at making you believe the character that I'm portraying, right? That's cool. But it tugs at your emotions. Where's the logic at? And I'm not saying you have to overthink everything, but I think a lot of people, their narrative ends up getting shaped off of how they feel about it, but they didn't incorporate the other half of the process, which is knowledge, contextual understanding, diving into why do I even feel this way about this character? Like, I like Tyrone Biggums. I love laughing at Tyrone Biggums. Why? Because it tugs at my heartstrings of me growing up talking to my Uncle Larry, who was a crackhead, and he would do some of the same shit when he came to the house or when he came to the family function. So I like him because he reminds me of this family member. Not that I condone the behavior, it's just nostalgic for me, right? Like something along those lines. Am I processing why this character resonates with me so much? Or I feel so strongly in angst or frustration or hatred towards this character. Why do I feel so much fervor toward them? Because, emotional shit. Am I actually processing it, or am I just like, oh, this is how it's supposed to be. That's great because it made me feel good. So this is wonderful. That's how it's supposed to be. It's like, nah. If you really had that shit, you wouldn't even know what to do with it. For real, for real. If you actually had it, you wouldn't know how to respond to it. You would probably do the same thing she did and fuck it up completely and not realize you got somebody that actually may give a damn about you.
yeah, it was. You gotta go watch it because at the end of the day, I want y'all to support black folks. So it's still like trending or whatever. But yeah, man, the way that y'all perceived it, per the usual, my usual gripe, I'm coming to terms with like I might not like a thing, but what I dislike more is how y'all take it and run with it. Because the film or series itself is trying to tell us a thing and whatever. When I be seeing, that's one thing. Like I don't think I'll ever like fully bash anything because I'm like it be telling me some shit. If some things you might not be able to figure out in a couple conversations, but you go watch some shit and listen to some shit, and it's like, you got what from that? Again, I know this might be like a really stinger of a comparison, but the same shit, the way that y'all white boys is taking John Walker and making him y'all's like I get him. I if a motherfucker say that in front of me, I'm learning so much. I'm learning quite a bit about you. There was some dude who made a video between it was like if you like John Walker and then you sided with Tony Stark in Civil War, I learned a lot about you. You know what I'm saying? We might not have had said a lot, but I'm gathering a lot of valid information about you. Do I know everything about you? Your social security number? Do I know about how your relationship with your kids and your mama shit? No. Do I have a decent starting point about where to kind of have my guards up with you? Absolutely. So I would say, yeah, I think the classics are great. I think you should always, in this order, if you want to go on a date, man, go see that movie that's got the shit in there with it, that's got the stuff, and then go to dinner. And then you figure out where the fuck you finna go from there. Cause you don't do dinner, then do movie first. Then you got some shit to talk about at the dinner. You get to going, huh. Or you go, oh man, this motherfucker's amazing. I can't wait to do this again. Either way. But yeah, you
The proverbial push her in the pool, go swimming and push her in the pool on the first date to see what washes off and what don't.
pretty
Let,
much.
let me put you in this pool. Hey, what do you think? But I think that's something that we have to do. more often. Because I think the narrative around dating is women do that a lot. They may not do it in the right ways or for the right reasons, but they're going to ask questions, whether they're goofy or not, just to kind of see what our answer is going to be. And I don't think we do that enough. Do it from healthy spaces, but go into that like part of the interview is even if I'm being interviewed, bitch, I'm interviewing you too. If
They
I'm
want to know
trying to
if I,
get
yeah, they want to
hired
know if
at
I
a
really
job,
want to work here.
right. If I'm trying to get interviewed to be able to get hired at this job, I'm interviewing you as well because I may not want to be here. I may not be in alignment with y'all business model. I may not be in alignment with y'all code of ethic. I may not be in alignment with this. So you want to chop and block just as much as me. I think we stereotypically, and I'm generalizing here, we get so infatuated with the booty ass or just wanting to sit up here and have access to this person that we don't pay attention or vet what we're actually getting access to. It's like, dude, I don't even say stop thinking what you did because not all of us are thinking what I did. Some of us are thinking insecurely of like, we
Hmm.
put her on a pedestal that she hasn't earned yet because I don't know who she is as a person. I can think you're super attractive, but that doesn't mean that you're a quote unquote 10 just because I'm super attracted to you. I don't know you. So I'm interviewing your ass as well. I can see a really nice Benz on the lot, and it's a fantastic, it's clean, it looks nice, it's got all the bells and whistles. But if you didn't look under the hood and understand what you're looking at, bitch, you bought a lemon and it's just a really pretty one.
Yeah, I think niggas have to do better at like, I know we've said this before, but I'm gonna say it again. Have to do better at the conversation and the understanding of like I have needs. You know when it's like niggas talk more, niggas be more emotional. What that comes with is you having more ability to understand these are my needs. This is what I really desire. This is what I need out of a partner outside of that shit of like, niggas always saying niggas are simple. You're not that simple, my boy. You actually are a whole human. You have a lot of complexities that some I think niggas don't know about, but some of you motherfuckers know. And it's a mix of I think, yeah, that insecure shit or how we find validation and just flat out horniness for the booty ass, just how much you prop that up and it's a necessity. So you like, hey, I forego this other shit for access to that. And I think some of these like narratives or movies and films shit kind of and social media whatever it fuels us the way same way that well in a different capacity but same kind of the same way like it fuels women. That shit looks cool. It's cool to walk into a space that is your space with a motherfucker who's supposed to care about you. You do the whole huggy thing, you get the booty ass, but also you, I got big, gruff weightlifting hands. This soft fucker here, yeah, I'm lit. This is amazing. This bitch smell good and everything. I don't even know what is that. That shit's dope. And niggas don't be giving themselves. You walk through life and go like, I haven't, all the regular tropes of manhood that are, trying to get unpackaged now. But you don't allow yourself that. Man, that mother nigga, you was a goner when that motherfucker hugged you goodbye. It was over with. And that's how I would say like a boy becomes a Justin. I'm not trying to make this thing for like you need a full-fledged roster, but you do need to have your experiences when you kind of had them. I was having this conversation with my sister because she had watched it a little bit, and I was like, it is important to have had those moments. And I don't know how to recreate that for kids now, but as much as say you and I have gotten up here and discussed, I'm not like Captain Game. I wasn't like always run into a group of fucking seven girls and can talk them all down and get this one and back. Like I had moments. I had like I was streaky. Some games we needed to fucking I've been Robert Ory before. Didn't really think I was gonna pull up with the shot, but I got it. We won the game. Who the fuck knows how we did it? Am I the guy for every game? Not all the time. But I say all that to say is that like I remember what it was like to have to what those things kind of did to make you kind of speed run processing your emotions and even just dealing with those certain types of embarrassments and loss. We the last generation where I remember getting dropped off at the mall saying that like you would get picked up at this time. It's four of us. It's a legion of girls in this fucking mall or in this area at this fucking fair or whatever. And well, nigga, we're not getting picked up. We're here early. We got here at like 11. The movie starts at 3:15 and we want to see fucking Spider-Man. So whatever embarrassment you give yourself between 11 and 3:15, you have to eat. Because we still got to go in here and see Harry Osborn get blown the fuck up and then talk about it. Got time for you to be fucking sad because she said nigga no. She said nigga no. You're gonna brush yourself off because there's four of them coming out of Claire's right up there. We can make this stupid fucking route around the motherfucking Cinnabon to make it look like we ran into them. We did that shit 37 times. We won 10. So I think you fuckers need that shit. Cause as much as I get it, we get up here and it's like, men. It's a motherfucker on the internet be like, I didn't say that, little boy. I don't even know what the fuck y'all are talking about. I be trying to roofie y'all and then y'all say some shit. I'm just like, well, nigga, just eat that. The fuck is wrong with you? That shit could have happened at lunch in front of people. I ate my lunch, played some basketball, and then went home. The fuck is wrong with you?
Right. They thought you win some, you lose some.
Yeah,
But
nigga,
you live to fight another day, goddamn.
yeah. Other than that, guys, I got a look. I got two little pieces of shit. Firstly, can we get off Angel Reese ass? Like I saw the fucking thing has been going viral this week. Angel Reese got fouled by Caitlin Clark. She got mad at her. Everybody mad at Angel Reese. I don't got nothing else outside of fucking racism and sexism because I don't watch Draymond commit fucking manslaughter for an entire fucking season. We make memes, we laugh. That nigga is in the game starting. Nobody makes bats an eye. Cool. If Caitlin Clark fouled and that girl want to get up and call her 57 funky bitches, do it. They riding over there at the WNBA. I don't know what y'all talking about outside of y'all like again, I can have all my frustrations and gripes with some of these relationship shits, but y'all niggas don't like women. And that shit is evident because girl to whoop this girl all through college, get up in here and let y'all fucking been saying crazy shit about her just for existing. I can't even get annoyed with the shit that I feel like I've seen clips of her do this annoying because y'all be acting like this girl is a supervillain. She a 22-year-old fucking athlete. All them motherfuckers is goofballs. Our favorite football shit, Shador might be a fucking goofball. Well, you
He
know.
definitely is. In certain situations, yeah, hit or miss. But I think it's different because like our parents' generation, which is a little bit of ours, we grew up seeing people feud for long periods of time.
Mm-hmm.
Like you saw Bird and Magic go at it. You saw fucking the Pistons and whoever the fuck go at it. The Knicks and whoever the fuck go at it. And you just understand that some people, some teams, some organizations, whatever, are going to have long-standing rivalries, and you let them play it. As long as the shit don't get out of control, you let them express it how they need. They're athletes, they're competitors. They're gonna be in the right sometimes, they're gonna be in the wrong sometimes, but let them express how they need to express and just enjoy the fucking game. When you start putting your own personal stuff into how you see it, it makes it worse. But that's also shooting them some bail. That's what fanatics are. Fanatical people are going to see shit irrational with their own personal bias. They just may not be aware of all the biases that are present in their perspective.
We all gotta fuck off, man. I don't know these niggas personally, but the girl played good basketball, and if y'all want motherfuckers to have a little bit of spice to them, I ain't mad at it. And fuck her, y'all. Fuck her because you got a different jersey on. Fuck that motherfucker. Like, and if I was a fucking Fever, if I think the girl played for the Fever, yeah, I would be like fuck Angel Reese. But yeah, y'all get on that girl back too much. I ain't riding with it. And then the same, I'm just gonna really slide by this last fucking gender thing because there's no information. But oh. Y'all are not gonna ruin my summer again with this Tory and Meg shit. I'm not gonna let y'all. Okay? Like, whatever happens, happens. But y'all are, you motherfuckers not. You motherfuckers will not. Not again. Whatever the fuck happens, goddamn it. Y'all not gonna ruin this fucking internet for me, boy. I'll block all you motherfuckers that I know personally. I will get you the fuck out of my life.
I don't even think this. When it comes to court cases and all that, we've seen many times how this shit takes years before we really know what's going on. Like I can't tell you how many women I've come across that love crime TV shows. like the crime TV shows, the crime podcasts, and murder mysteries, and all that other stuff. And a lot of those things are able to be content not because they were resolved immediately, it's because they didn't find out until years later what actual motives were, what actual this was, what actual that was. Some of y'all should just treat it like entertainment and just sit back and let this shit unfold however it needs to unfold because it really doesn't affect me if Meg's a liar or not in the beginning or she's a liar or not in the end. It really doesn't affect me if Tori's an abusive ass in the beginning or he's absolved of that. And I don't care. I don't know these people, but y'all jump onto certain narratives and perspectives and points of view and leverage whatever against somebody else that doesn't agree with you immediately, and you have less contextual knowledge than the average. But like there's reporters that have to have contextual knowledge. We just know what whatever news outlet we look at tells us. Even worse, because some people will do deep dives to try to get as much information around
Right.
somebody else's life that doesn't even know you exist. That part is just as weird, if not weirder, and I'll never understand it. But most of us, you see some shit in a post, and you like, all right, cool, take it for what it is. You can have an opinion for sure. Talk about your opinion, but y'all be having as much as I've got on here and said, I don't like Meg, don't fuck with Meg, but I also had my same perspectives when the shit went on. And that was it. We only talk about it because it pops up and we're supposed to talk about shit and process it from a mental health standpoint. But other than that, what happened to Tori? Fucked up. Why? We don't know. We'll figure it out at some point. The other stuff that comes out that could potentially tell y'all what was already being said a year or two ago anyway. Y'all just ignored it because of your own personal bias. Whatever happens with it, happens with but other than that, just find something else to pay attention to that actually matters, and like let the professionals figure that out, please.
Yeah, pretty much. I thought I was gonna have like more to talk about, but I think I just like fucking blew my battery on the fucking forever thing. But yeah, like when I look at this, and I don't know what to really discuss outside of like Diddy shit cooked. I don't have any energy to defend fucking Diddy. Like the niggas being weird about like it's a lot like it's funny for memes I think a little bit because you know fucked up shit is sometimes funny, but like niggas framing it as like Cassie's a fucking whore and her husband should be crashing out about it. I was like, bro, if all that shit is true, bro, I don't give a fuck. It doesn't absolve Diddy. You niggas aren't defending Diddy by kicking her back in. That's weird. And I have no like dog in the fight to like fucking fight for the sanctity of Cassie's image, but the hallway shit alone I'm sold. I don't need anything else. What we saw in the video is enough for me to go, I don't really, I don't feel like you should get clipped for something you didn't do. But I also
Right.
believe you did a lot of shit. I believe you did enough to get clipped for and, do the court shit, be a freaky motherfucker and freak the fuck on out my face. I don't have that much energy to like do some back and forth about the Diddy shit. I enjoyed the music. I can listen to Bad Boy for Life and like he be in jail, D bopping away from, yeah, some, or paying niggas up. I don't really care. Um, the Tory shit, I saw a lot of y'all dancing on the fact that he got stabbed 14 times. I don't like that. Like prison is crazy. Niggas going on a fucking prison is like I saw another couple pods talk about this. Like niggas all of a sudden became like advocates against the prison industrial complex when Tory got stabbed. But like y'all fucking have never said anything before. Y'all don't say nothing when um, you know, FBJ shoot 'em up is going to jail for like blowing up a goddamn block. So like, I don't know, like y'all are weird and it makes these conversations very fucking weird. If she lied, um shame and whatever comes back with that. I don't know what to talk about that until it becomes like a confirmed thing. I don't feel like people are fucking raging assholes if you find her, you know, less than likable if it comes out that she lied. If it comes out that like that shit wasn't true, then boy, do your fucking time. Like the whole thing, I don't like, yeah, the whole, even from the beginning, I was like, yeah, I don't find, you're not crazy for trying to get to the bottom of the fact. And like, I don't know, like shit, the lady who did the Me Too believe all whatever, even her, like out of her own mouth is like, bro, believe victims from the sense that we should fucking explore this and investigate. But I'm not just fucking saying believe a motherfucker carte blanche. So I don't think you're a crazy deranged nigga for initially wanting to see like what the evidence is, or even now, if you have bias towards an artist, like maybe he was lied on, cool. But per the usual, a lot of y'all are coming from like y'all just don't like women, or you don't like men. Y'all are fucking exhausting. And I don't give a fuck about DDG, man. Like, like fucking keep him away from her. I don't know. I know some of y'all said I was gonna talk about that. I don't care. Like if he's an abusive piece of shit and she got that restraining order, then nigga stay fucking away. I don't know. Like there's other ways to probably go about it. I feel like again these motherfuckers are young and goofy and not the best fucking people. Some of y'all I saw on the internet make fucking videos about it's a tough day for black men. These niggas don't speak for me, boy. Like it's a tough day for, celebrities and highly traumatized people. Don't weaponize the trauma when it affects your group and then disregard it when your counterpart is going through it. So kiss my ass. Other than that, man, see y'all next time. Love, peace, and fuck yous,
LPFU.
Yeah, love, peace, and fuck yous, man. Of all the things we should have been put on 37 t-shirts so we could be rich for real, add that to the
Absolutely.
fucking list. Who's ever making the list, Leilani's making the list. Put that on the list. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's probably making the list.
With symbols. She definitely
Yeah,
she
for sure.
keep
All right, man. Thank you guys for listening. I don't have any, pum pum pum. Eventually, we're gonna find somebody who's gonna make it really sexy for us to end this, like professionals. And I'll stop being lazy and go to where the actual equipment is, so we can sound sexier to you guys one day. Um, if you guys pay us, then I can stop like having to write notes, which is what I do when I get done with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like, stipends for gas or cars and stuff would be nice too. Like whatever helps us help you guys more efficiently. Like we would greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, word. Like us for all of it, and not just I don't know, funny videos. I appreciate y'all liking the funny videos though. One day.
Like the entire post. Don't
Yeah, that
just be
ass.
the shit you like that's funny and you
Because
latch onto that
that's
and
it's
you
okay.
ignore the other.
This might be my last thing, maybe. Cause y'all are fucking. I know. I get all the algorithm shits, but y'all are liking the shit of the video, and I appreciate it. But video of me going like, I ain't get no fucking ass. It's a whole motherfucker. It wasn't even no edits in there for it. It just is you having a really great fucking dialogue about, hey man, we should choose better, and this is way to heal. You niggas is crickets. Now, look, man, we done a lot of kicking of the backsend on y'all's behalf. I will get on here and kick niggas back. I'll just dodge like fuck is wrong with y'all? Hey man, here's a better answer. Fuck you, bro. Because these whores. That's not what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, no, the whores are going to be the whores. How about you just don't choose the whores or embrace the fact that they're whores and do whore shit?
Yeah, it's
Like,
a thick, nice motherfucker right here. She's thick and a good person, helpful. You know what I'm saying? You paid that rent, and you don't even know what the bills look like because she did that. They're out there. I believe it. That's what I'm looking for. I believe
absolutely,
it. Yeah,
absolutely. I had somebody ask me that recently. A girl asked me, she's like, "Where do emotionally intelligent men go? Where do I go to meet an emotionally intelligent man?" And I was like, we don't all go to like one place, right? Like there's not like one specific place that you're asking this question in a very performative way. One, two, you're asking it with the assumption that you are the emotionally intelligent person
There we
that's
go.
deserving
All right, cool.
of a
That's
certain level of emotional
how the fuck I
intelligence.
was
Like,
looking for.
yeah, it's like I was told them like I would challenge you to like refine what your understanding of emotional intelligence is because it's a spectrum. So like what exactly do you embody? And then that'll help you understand what areas you can go to. But they're out there. There's tons of them that are out there. You just may not be looking for them or you may not be looking at them. And why are you asking me this question? Like I'm the fucking coochie whisperer to help you find whatever your perfect variation of shit is. Because I know you personally, and I know that you got some work to do. So I'm really not the person you should be asking this question because, you know.
I
But either
really,
way,
I really love Wood Harris's character in Forever. If a nigga have that character show up in your life, you'd be ready to fucking blow it up or whatever.
absolutely. He's boring. I get that a lot. People like I explain to people what my day to day looks like, what my regular life looks like, and they're like, "Oh, so it's boring." I was like, "Yeah, I tell people straight up, I'm boring. I'm not super exciting. I'm stable, financially and mentally. I'm stable,
Yeah, you
so
got
I'm
to.
boring."
Niggas got to know better to just, want. You know how often, all right, and then it's a couple of you just look in them stories. You got if I see you out and about on a fucking Tuesday, I'm exhausted, bitch. It looks great. I say you'll never have to worry about me. You-
I
I'm,
say,
I'm
nay,
when
nay,
I
I say.
say when I say I am in the bed snuggled up, it's 9:15. I'm looking through a story. You're out in the community on a Wednesday night? Is that a shot? Throw my phone down, boy. This is crazy. Let me cut this fucking soft, soothing music on so I can go to bed. What the fuck are y'all? Y'all are crazy.
Absolutely not.
My head hurt thinking about that shit.
I don't think people pay attention to how someone can judge their lifestyle and like, yeah, I find you attractive, but I automatically discredit you because I've seen you post a lot of pictures of just material shit and liquor. Like I don't drink like that. So I had that conversation too. Somebody was like people, they're like, you don't drink? And I was like, no, I don't drink. And I think most people, when they ask me that question and I tell them, no, I don't really drink like that, everybody says the same response, which is, yeah, you look like somebody that's healthy and doesn't really drink or smoke like that. So what made you ask me that question in the first place? First of all. Secondly, if you can recognize that I'm somebody that takes care of my body, do you think that you have a chance doing the opposite?
If I'm being facetious, it would be in the hopes that you are a nigga who has those qualities because it creates you being aesthetically in whatever way that they enjoy. But also, here's the hope that you would also betray yourself for me so I can know how to kind of take advantage of that. But, that's a both sides thing. But in this scenario, it's y'all. So, if that sounded like you, baby, eat that shit. I don't give a fuck. I'm hungry now, so y'all can get whatever fucking version I'm mad. No, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah,
We did
no,
enough.
just okay. It's time to find something to eat and enjoy the rest of my day.
Okay,
Be
bye. See y'all
boring.
next time.